for his guidance and his friendship and his help along the way. To you people, to the media, for the great coverage, our great city, to the office people, to the guys who clean the rink, to the guys that I walk past every day in security, to all the people that have helped over the years, to Stevie, to Nick, to Z, to Pav, to Croner, the guys who led the way over 10 years and carried me around on their back, to Mr. Lindsay, to Gordie Howe, you know, to all the players, and we've had a lot of them come and go. Try to get this out this morning. It's been real special, to say the least, and the Illich has afforded my family to grow up here, to let my kids go to school, finish high school here, and as you can see, just as I talk, emotionally involved with the franchise and with the city and with the people, and it's gives me great pride for what we were able to accomplish in my 10 years here. My decision to leave, it's my decision. My wife wanted me to make that clear. It's not on her. My decision, totally, and it was about a new opportunity and a new challenge. I'm very proud of the years here and the fact that we developed people. When I arrived here, I should say thanks to Jim Nell too, who's a big part of me coming here. But in the office, at times we had Beaker and we had Stevie and we had Scotty Bowman. I remember we used to get off the bus, Jimmy D, Kenny, and Jimmy Nill, and it was a power group getting off the bus at playoff time. I got a picture of it that I show all the time. And impressive group. What part I like is that we grew people and they went on other places and they got great franchises and they're doing a great job. And the same for coaches, whether it be Tom McClellan or Paul McLean or Bill Peters or Blash. We have a lot of guys that have gone on and had huge success and are going to continue to have huge success. And the organization's set up good. I went to Prague with Kenny to watch Larkin, and he's a heck of a player. I'm jealous. But in the end, when I weighed all the options and went through them, I spent a lot of time with Kenny about this too, is I just felt for me to invigorate me, what was I going to do with the next 10 years of my life? And this challenge is a way different challenge than it is. And Al, I got to thank Al too for doing the ice. Way different challenge than Detroit was. Detroit was, when I arrived here, we had gone from 72 to whatever the cap was, 36 million, and everyone was talking about, but we had a team ready to go, and we've maintained that through the time, and that team's ready to go. The team I'm going to in Toronto, obviously, is not set up quite that way, and so it's a huge project, but it's going to be an exciting one. And just before I go to questions, I can't thank the people enough. Go ahead.
Mike, it seems just by the tone of your voice and the emotions that are coming out, this is more than just a hockey decision, a family decision too?
Well, it's a career decision. It's a... I'm a big believer that I've spent a lot of time in my life just chasing and dreaming, thinking you could make it happen, and it's worked out this far. So when you challenge your kids to do the same, I think it's important you do that. Don't get me wrong, I love it here. But I also think that it was time for me, and no matter how much I talked to Kenny and we went back and forth, and he was great to me, I wanted a different challenge. And then when I got it in my head, I'm coaching, an original six franchise, the model of the NHL. If I'm going to leave, I have to go to an original six franchise. I just have to. And so in the end, it was, I went back and forth 100 times and probably wore Kenny out being a pain in the butt, and I know I wore my family out. it was gut-wrenching, and yet it's, as much as it's emotional for me right here today, right now, talking to you, I said it yesterday, I was like I was 25. I was jacked up and scared to death. You know, we'll see. Only time will tell. But I believe you put your foot on the gas and you go get it, and that's what we're going to do.
Mike, a lot of people look at this and think it was a money decision. What do you say to those people?
Well, I think, you know, money to a certain level is an important thing. I worked real hard going into this negotiation period. I looked at every NBA coach, every NFL coach I went through. I did all this work, didn't use any of it. I didn't, because in the end, everybody, the Ilitches were fantastic to me. It's not like I was going to be on food stamps to live here. Like, give me a break. They looked after me big time. They made it hard, and I respected everything. The same with the Buffalo Sabres. The other teams I talked to, I got out of the mix. I mean, we talked about it, but I got out of the mix before I ever got to that point. So in the end, is it about money? Sure, it's about money. But there was enough money in every place. It didn't have a factor in the decision. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. Once you got to a certain point, no, maybe I can't. I said yesterday I'd like to drive my Ford 150, but maybe, you know, maybe there's no room on the street. You can't park the thing. I don't know. But I already have a few nice suits. I'm good.
You went back and forth. Kenny said you texted, you called, you met with him a million times. What was the tipping point, and when did you decide, okay, I'm going to Toronto?
Well, I went back, you know, the last time I saw Kenny, it was kind of neat. I went to his house just to bug him one more time, and his wife gave me a big hug and said she was going to church to pray for me. And that's just the kind of people they are, you know. His daughter's getting married July 10th. I'm going to be there.
Mike, Ken said that he had offered you a 5-year term but couldn't go further. If he was to have increased that term, would that have changed your mind?
No, I didn't want more than 5 years from Kenny. We never ever, like, you already knew what you had here. When you're going to these other places and they're set up like they are, you needed more term. I don't know if you needed more commitment, if that makes sense to you. Here, I even said to Kenny at one time, just give me 3. I wasn't concerned about that at all. So to think that played in the end, what happened is I think 2 pretty good friends sat down and talked it out. And he's my advisor too. So in this situation, it's hard because, and in the end, I had to make a decision. And even though my family weighed in very heavily, this worked out good for my wife. It's 4 hours from here. That Porter Airport, you can get in and out to Windsor. It's a big city. We could live downtown. It's a change of life. My kids are all leaving anyway. That's going to be a shock to us anyway. I get to coach the Maple Leafs. So a kid from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, whose buddy was Gordie Howe's nephew. You knew who the Red Wings were. You got to coach the Red Wings, and now you get to coach the Maple Leafs. So I feel very, very special to have had this opportunity, and I'm excited about the next one.
Hey, Mike, you said... as far as you could here?
What's that?
The bottom line, did you feel that you went as far as you could as the Wings head coach, and that's why you felt it was time to move on?
No, not really. Like, I'm jealous already because like Luke Glendening and Helmer and Abby and DeKaiser and these guys, they're all in there every day. There's a good group. But I had been here 10 years. I dug it out here today. I'm going through, I'm cleaning up my office. There it is. That's my first day on the job. There's Stevie and Gordie. I've been here a long friggin' time, and they're probably tired of me. And I just thought, for me, myself, for the energy level that I would feel, I think change is an exciting thing. It's scary. It's really scary. It would have been way more fun to get out of bed this morning, go for a workout, get in my hot tub when I got back, start to talk to my bride, and just be getting ready for next year. It would have been way easier. But that's not what I chose to do.
So you couldn't reinvigorate yourself by staying the coach of the Red Wings. You had to get a change of scenery.
No, I didn't have to. Like, I'm a pretty good self-starter. I work at it all the time. It was just, I felt different yesterday morning than I would have felt if I changed here. I made the decision myself, and you know, I don't know what you're looking for exactly. I loved it here. I'm going to love it the next place. Can we make it go like the Red Wings? That's sure our goal, and that's our hope. I mean, the management team here has been spectacular. Ken Holland's the best GM in hockey, bar none. And I've been lucky to get to hang out with him. That's about what I got.
Mike,
You're doing your search.
Do you think you guys, the players, do you think, you said you needed a new challenge. Do you think they needed a new voice too after
Well, I don't think the young guys do. And Z and Pav, like I talked to Z and Pav. I just left a message for Toronto so far. Like, I love those guys. And I'm going to be friends with those guys forever. When Pav goes home one day and sets up his sports school, I'm going to go help him. They're great men. You don't win as a coach without great players and great leadership. And they provided me an opportunity. They did exactly, when I talked about the age of Z and Pav and Croner at the end, and the new guys coming and they got to do it, that's what they did for this franchise for 10 years. They're great people. So do they need a new voice? Ask them. I guess the way I look at it is I'm proud to be able to walk out of here today knowing that, I only know this because one of the teams that I talked to showed me that we averaged 106.4 points over my 10 years here, and that we played 23 playoff rounds, both the most. Only team to make the playoffs.
Mike,
Go ahead.
despite all the success you had over the last 10 years, is there anything you look back on and regret or say, well, I would do this differently?
Well, regret. I would have put a pool in when I first arrived. Did I cross the line at times with a player, or did I not treat the media right one day? Yeah, sure. But, I would have liked to win Game 7. We did everything we could. We prepared as hard as we could. I thought we would have won back-to-back cups if Pav didn't get hurt that year. We didn't. What I like is that we gave ourselves a chance. We knocked on the door year after year after year. We created a lot of excitement in the town. I think the fans are proud of us here. I think the people are proud of us. I think we've done a real nice job. If you want, you can look for negative things. Hey, Mickey, I didn't see you there. Thanks for everything, Mick. Like people like Mickey Redmond, the friends that I have in this town, it's special. So, if you want, you can look for something negative. I don't know where it is. Like, you'd have to try pretty hard.
You said from the get-go.
mentioned Jeff Blashill earlier.
Well, it's not I should keep my mouth shut, shouldn't I? No, that's one of those things you said, have you done anything you shouldn't do? There's one of them right there. Okay, Blash is a real good buddy of mine. Yeah. Jeff Blashill, I hired him. I'll never forget, I left him a message. This is how quickly life changed. I left him a message. He had just been 1 year at Western there, and I phoned him. I said, hey, it's Mike Babcock. I'm the head coach of the Detroit Red Wings. Could you give me a call? He phoned me back. He laughed. He said, yeah, I know who you were. Anyway, and then I interviewed him. No one ever heard of him. He coached with us 1 year, and he's gone down there, and he's been real good, and we've talked 5 times a week ever since. And he's a great man. He's a great coach. I told you earlier, I'm proud of what we were able to accomplish here. I think the best CEOs of companies, they have a succession plan. I think that's what Ken Holland's done. He's just keep building people, giving people opportunities. This guy's ready to be an NHL coach. If he's not in Detroit, he's going to be somewhere else for sure. And he's trained all these guys. They're his kids. And what's interesting is I'm pumped for him if he gets the opportunity. Well, I'm pumped for him. He's getting one opportunity for sure.
Mike, what makes him a good coach? What?
Good man. He's smart. He's put his time in, treats people good, he's demanding. He's a good hockey coach, and he's a good man. I consider him a friend.
Mike, a few minutes ago you said that going to an original 16 was ultimately the most important, one of the more important things to you. If that's the case, why were the Sabres involved until the last minute?
It was, I thought Terry Pagula was a superstar, period. I thought they were set up great. They had great kids. Great kids. They've gone through a tough spell, and they're ready to take off and go. I had a good relationship with Tim Murray. There was lots of real positive things. In the end, I couldn't make it work. So lots of things come into making your decisions. But, the great thing about this is I'm not going to talk about that anymore. I've made this decision. I'm moving on. And the Red Wings are going to be great. And the Leafs are going to be a working process, and we're going to be good.
And like you said from the get-go in the coaching search that it was about winning. Obviously, this team might win more than, at least early on, than Toronto. How tough is that going to be, you think?
Oh, it's going to be hard. It is. I have a burning desire to win. And so winning where I'm going is going to be a different, it's going to, the immediate gratification thing that I'm used to every game day that I love is going to be harder. And yet, there's a big plan there. They've made a big commitment, a long-term commitment to me. I've made a long-term commitment to them. We're going to go grow that franchise. And, the guys have already told me they're happy to lay the boots to us when they play us. They already told me that. But what we're going to do is we're going to build a franchise there that the people of Toronto can be proud of.
What's the reaction just been like in Toronto? I mean, you're they're Jim Harbaugh, essentially.
Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. What I do know is that when I went through it all, we made that decision. We're excited to go to Toronto. I feel better even. It was like a purging moment here for me now. I'm kind of regrouped here now. It's emotional to leave Detroit. I loved it here. Best 10 years of my life.
Mike, not a lot of coaches who leave.
You felt the last few days, what was the toughest moment?
Well, just the grind I probably put my wife through in the last 12 days. I mean, I don't even know how long ago this started, but it's way easier just to get fired. And then, no, it is. It's way easier. You just get fired and you just find the next team you get going. You don't think about it. But when you're leaving unbelievable people, like I said, Kenny, they're like 10 years together, having beers, enjoying people. It's hard to leave. But I'm excited for the opportunity, and I'm thankful for what they did for me here. And
what are you going to think when I don't know if you're taking a box out and you leave this building?
Well, I'm unpacking right now. That's what I was doing. I was cleaning up my office. That's where I found the pictures of Stevie and Gordy. And you've been here 10 years, you need to clean out your office. Normally what I did early is, because you're scared you're getting fired every day, when you first start, you put 2 pictures on the wall, you want to be able to get out fast. Then as you get a little more comfortable, you end up with more crap in your office. So I'm going through the garbage cans here today.
Mike,
3
not a
weeks
lot of
ago.
professional coaches come back and do a press conference like this when they move on to the next team. Why did you decide to make this call today?
Well, for sure, I had to. All these people that were calling me that have been so good to me all these years, they were calling me, and I never returned any calls because I didn't think that was the right process. I thought there was a sequence of events that had to take place here, and I'm just here today to say thanks. And so, it's been great, and thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
3 weeks ago, you said that the grass is always greener on the other side until you water and fertilize at home. Do you feel like you gave all the water and fertilization you could give here?
Well, you're trying real hard here. I think what I've said to you is you can go back and you can pick out something I said 5 years ago and something I said 6 years ago, and you could go back. This is what I did. I went through a long process. I made a decision that was best, I felt, for Mike Babcock and his family. It's not like I'm not going to, I'm going to a different place with a new opportunity where I'm very, very excited to go. This was great. I don't know what else to say. It was great. I loved it. Anything else?
When you first, you've rubbed shoulders with some greats here in Detroit, Gordie Howe, Mickey.
Mr. Lindsay?
Lindsay. Who are some of the players that you're looking forward to, some of the legends you're looking forward to rubbing shoulders with as well?
Well, that's a real good question. I don't know who hangs around the rink there yet. I went there. I made the decision to go there because of Larry Tannenbaum, because of Shanny, because of the vision they have, and because it's the Maple Leafs, and because it's a great city. And so the rest will fall into place.
You mentioned a couple of times 10 years here, and that is a long time for a head coach. How did you, most coaches don't last 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 10 years. How do you think you made it 10 years, and did you think you would end up, this would your last place?
I don't know. You just go day to day and you try to be good that day. And, like I said, a great owner and great general manager, and we built a relationship together, and I thought we made people better, players and staff included, and made each other better. And, it's been fantastic. I don't know what else to tell you. I just was fortunate to have a man like I did in Ken Holland that was steady on the rudder, and he didn't flinch, and he didn't submit to outside pressure, or he just did what was right every day. And, I learned a lot from him, and I take that forward with me. I'm sure I'll talk to him lots, my friend, and so I think I don't even know what else to say. I think I've covered this pretty good. I had 10 great years here. Kim, thanks for everything. I enjoyed the people. I consider them my friends. They treated me like family. I'm emotionally engaged in the process here. They're going to hire a good coach, and the team's going to be really good. Larkin kid's a good player. There's lots of kids playing well in Grand Rapids. They're set up good. I'm going to Toronto, and I'm going to have as much fun as you can have.
Is your house for sale?
Not selling it.
Nope.
No. So my kids want to train here. They work out at Barwitz there. They come back. They're college athletes. They want to come back every summer, and so I'm going to rent my lake place for 4 years until they're done here. And I'm going home this summer. I might go home a little bit, but they're not. They're going to hang out here, and then. The 401 works pretty good, and like I said, that Porter Airport or that Island Airport, whatever that is, will be pretty quick for her. So she gets the best of both worlds. So do my kids, and I get a new opportunity, and I get to coach the Maple Leafs.
Coach, just one more for you. When did you turn the corner from? You mentioned the new opportunity. When did you turn the corner from staying here to that's really a new chance?
Well, I phoned Shani at 11:30. I was still sitting in Kenny's house. Like I said, when his wife gave me a hug and went to church to pray for me, I think that's what tilted it right there. She knew I needed some help there. So, so I went back and forth a bunch. That night, I had made my decision up, talked to my wife and my kids before I went to bed. My daughter, of course, left the project till the last minute. The printer went off at 3:30. I was wide awake. It was next to my room. Stayed up for the next 3 hours. Texted Kenny in the morning, asked him if I could come and see him. So it was a hard process, but that's all over with now, and I'm moving on. And once again, I'd just like to wrap this all up. I can't say anything different. I had 10 great years here. I'm indebted forever to the Illiches and Mr. Holland, and to the players, to the captains I had here, unbelievable men, to all the media people who covered us, but mainly to the players and to the guys I worked with every day, and it's been special. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike, is there any chance I can just grab those to get a quick, tight shot
Yep.
with my camera of them? Thank you.
Just give him the beamer and he'll bring it back.
Okay, thank you.
See you guys. Thanks for everything.
Can we get a...
Thank you. All the best to you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you for everything.
Is there glare?
No, just tilt it. Now there's glare.
Please do.
Let me grab a couple of shots of these.
Yeah, when you get them over here, I'll get them.
I'm just going to switch batteries over.
Hey, H, will you send me the picture you took, please?
I don't know. That's not my gig.
That's your gig. You tell me where to go.
Oh, yeah. Get out.
Are you,
Yeah?
I'll bring those back. I gotta
Wait, hang on. Oh. Yeah, let him go. Did you not hit record? No, I'm just kidding.
That's right.
Oh, seriously? Oh, that's good. Congratulations.
Yeah, I've got a good case of that. You want the first day of